Good job. I had to back off in shame and respect.
Is that what happens?
That's what it was. I was like, he's out rocking me right now. I will take a back seat and just enjoy the show.
All right. Does money separate people in a caste system?
Yes. Moving on.
Yeah, what are we? Is that it?
No.
Short back?
No, we're talking about the V.I.G category for gamers, essentially. So they're at Gen Con. You can buy a V.I.G ticket if you're lucky enough. They sell it really quickly. If you already own one, you have first chance of getting a new one. So only if someone drops one can you get one. And if you get this V.I.G pass, you get to go to a special room there. You get to go in an hour early. You get a pile of games. You have a lounge. If you go to an event, they will bring you to the front, and you will get to sit in the front seats at an event. You basically are treated better because you pay like $600.
Right.
Board Game Geek just offered premium tickets, which did not actually give you any benefits other than you could buy your tickets for sure and get your hotel rooms for sure before everybody else.
Okay.
So essentially it was peace of mind. Geek Chic, a couple years ago, tried to offer a special experience for people where you could pay a lot of money and for one convention, before they stopped doing it, would let you go to zoos and have gourmet meals.
I try not to laugh.
Okay, but it was really supposed to be like, hey, they would come shine your shoes and do special things for you.
Right. It's, again, special treatment.
Special treatment. So is that a good thing for the hobby, a bad thing, or does it not really matter? And my first reaction to this was negative. Like, just because these people have more money, they get to do things that you don't. However, you could take that to just, I'm going to a convention in general, and you're not, because I have money and you don't. It's the same thing.
I get to sit in these nice seats at the ball game where you can't because I paid more money. It's pretty much everywhere you go.
Right. I mean, Universal Studios, you can get in the Fast Pass line if you pay an extra $100. You can go and walk right by the other people and be like,
right.
And get in line.
I guess for me, and I hate to cut you off here, the thing is not that question of like, will money get you nicer things? Yes. Like you said, it's in everything so far. I think the question for me is this a good trend in our little microcosm of this hobby, which hasn't really been as pronounced until now with those three examples you gave. They're very clearly examples of pay more, you're special.
When did they start doing the V.I.G?
Well, that's been, I don't know, that's been at least 5-6 years.
Okay, well, the last decade, let's say. I don't know. I'm just saying once this, board gaming sort of really took off, then that's that new trend, and it's not just Gen Con now. We're going to see this possibly in more places, too. Is that trend an okay trend? How do sort of we feel about it? Again, on the one hand, I feel like, this is board gaming. The big companies step in, everything becomes corporate, and you lose a little bit of that thing that made it special in the first place to me. That idea of, this is a small hobby, everybody in it is. Again, this is just what I thought. It's small, everybody's nice, everyone gets along, people are so welcoming, they love teaching games, you're one of us in the good way. That sounded creepy. You get what I'm saying, right? So this move, just like having big companies buy out other companies and become very corporate, is one more step towards that legitimizing the hobby, which in turn means losing that small hobby charm, small town charm, whatever. You get what I'm saying? So on the one hand...
So you're saying that this is a legitimization of our hobby?
I'm saying it's a corporate addition to the hobby. It's something that is fine in many other places because it's been done for a long, long time, and it's now stepping into this hobby. Just like companies buying each other out and companies not selling X products, so stopping carrying that thing. Whereas if it's a passion project, if it's a passion hobby, people will oftentimes do things from a passion point of view. Not, this makes more money than this, I'm just going to do this, and I'm not even going to do this one at all.
So you're saying this is okay here?
No, I'm saying it's bound to happen. and it's another little bite out of a hobby I once fell in love with that is changing. You get what I'm saying? Can't control it, but to a certain degree, it kind of makes me miss that idea of the way things were. Just a simpler kind of time.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. I can't tell you one way or the other what I think should happen, but I think it's a step in that same direction as having, say, Asmodee buy everybody up.
Yeah, but let's say I'm Gen Con and I want to sell these tickets for $500, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the exact prices, but I know they're somewhere around there. 600 people buy that. That's $300,000.
Yeah.
That's not small change.
Right.
So I don't want to give that up. But at the same time, by catering to one audience, you can discourage other people's audiences. We're not talking about people buying the best seats in the house. We're saying we're letting people butt in front of others in line. Get in front at Gen Con and get in there and buy up a game before it's even available. Not even because they want the game, sometimes they buy it just to flip it.
That's a good point, right?
Okay, and again, I'm not trying to come down on the V.I.Gs, I'm just saying these things happen. So,
to make the money back that they paid for their...
Yeah, and here's the thing. Every time I meet somebody who has a very important gamer, which I really dislike that term, by the way. But anytime I meet someone who is one of those from Gen Con, I always ask them, what do you think? Is it worth it? And they always tell me, oh, it's amazing. I would never not do it, I get my hotel room before everybody else, I get a pile of games. It's so worth it. So I don't feel like these people are being taken advantage of, but does that diminish everyone else's experience at the convention? It's kind of like when you're driving down the street and a real rich person comes by or someone famous comes by and they shut the street down so that person can get by.
That hurts you, actually.
That inconveniences me.
Right. And I think certain aspects of this program could very well be seen as inconveniencing you. If someone jumps in there, or 100 someone's, and they buy up a game you wanted to get a copy of, and they bought one that you did not get a chance to, a shot at all, that does affect you, right? I mean, they bought it for basically 3 times as much as you would have paid, technically.
But at the end of the day, you wait a few weeks or a couple months, and now you can buy the game.
Well,
That's true, but then you could have not gone to the convention.
No, you go to the convention for the experience, not just to purchase a game.
Well, no,
some
different people go for different things.
I mean, if you're going to a convention just to purchase games, I'm sorry, that's not a good reason to go to a convention.
At least for those people,
Well, I understand that, but you got to be going for much more than just purchasing games, because if what you're saying happens, your experience is completely blown. But if that's only one part of the reason why I'm going to a convention, okay, fine, I missed out on a game, but I got to do all of this other stuff, which completely makes up for me missing out on that one game. So it's a matter of perspective. If you're looking at these people and you're thinking about how they've messed up, that's kind of a selfish, we were talking about microcosms. That's kind of a selfish view of just your microcosm.
Sure, I can see that.
There's just not, I don't see how we should, don't get me wrong, I don't like that it's offered to begin with.
I'm just saying, if I'm going to go on Black Friday to Best Buy and buy a TV, it's on deep discount. They have 3.
Right.
I'm there Wednesday afternoon.
Right.
I want to make sure I get one. I'm first in line.
Right.
And then Friday, right before they open the doors, they bring up 3 guys who paid a lot of money to go to the front of the line, and they step in front of me. I think I have a right to be a little bit peeved. It's not going to change my life. I'm not going to go hurt myself.
That's where I'm getting.
No, but it's board games also. We can never make that argument.
Yeah, it's true. Right? You shouldn't get upset.
But it's the same thing, though. It's the same idea. Sure, it might be a different subject, but it's the same idea.
It is. I'm just saying we can never go to
If you miss buying the TV, who gives a rip?
We can't ever make that argument with we can always fall back to that whole, hey, it's just board games argument. Always.
No, I can say that with the TV too.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Right,
when we
right,
have
but
these
in that
discussions, we
realm-
can never fall back on that.
Why not?
Because it's always board games. That's what we talk about.
Right. This is the same thing.
It never matters.
You were
No,
mentioning talking about this earlier. I remember we were talking about it was flipping promos. That was the same kind of conversation we had
Right.
about taking a promo and selling it. Of course, you don't need it, but it's not fun when something is unobtainable.
True.
You wish you could get it. And I can understand, yeah, sure, it shouldn't affect your life, but at the same time, I can see being a little annoyed about it. But coming back to that annoyed thing, aren't these people who are paying a lot of money subsidizing the whole experience? Possibly.
Not unless my ticket suddenly drops in price.
Well, maybe your ticket would have gone up in price.
Maybe.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Because, and I mention this because we do this in the Dice Tower. I
Right.
was all set to be like, but we charge a certain amount of money to play a game with us at a convention and or eat a meal with us.
Right.
Are those people?
Technically, we don't charge.
Well, right, but
Technically, I mean, we set the amount. If somebody wants to pay that, that's not a charging though. That's like, this is what we're going to do if you're willing to pay this amount of money. That's
right,
not
it's
charging.
technically a reward.
You're not putting a price tag on it.
To someone who donated to the Dice Tower.
Right.
Yes.
But at the same time, those people who do that get a priority maybe over people who don't. And we will still play games with people at conventions. We will still eat meals with people at conventions. Just these people are prioritized, and they help support the Dice Tower as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So when I look at it from that perspective, I can see how these things. My biggest concern over this situation is not how the poor people feel in the situation, but it's how the people who pay the money feel. Because I
Right.
really dislike when those people act like they are better because they simply happen to have more, they're more well off.
Right. Right.
That's where I come into a problem where it's like I said, I hate the name V.I.G.
I mean, I know a
Because it's
few
a very
people.
important gamer.
Just like you've seen a few people who have bought those tickets. I know a few of them. The ones I know, I haven't had that problem with. They're very nice folks.
Right.
But that would be a dangerous thing, I guess, if they felt like they were VIGers, like more important than the masses or whatever at that convention or that event.
Well,
or
we've
whatever.
all run into people who thought that because they had money, they could do things that they could just do what they felt like doing.
Sure.
And that's always a very jerky attitude. I don't want board
It's a
gaming
problem
to
with that
promote
person, not with that event.
That's
but
true.
Yes.
I just don't. I don't know. I just don't feel like I should be giving that amount of power over how I feel to somebody else.
Do you like the idea of this program, those events, those programs?
Here's the thing. I don't like the idea of it. And if they're doing it so that they are then able to have the program,
Right.
I'm okay with it.
Right.
I don't necessarily like it. But I have a sneaky suspicion, based upon how many people go to Gen Con, this is not so that they can make ends meet.
Well, if there's
This
something in
is
place,
well over and
yeah.
above
Oh, for sure.
what they need. And that's what I have a problem with.
I guess the question is, if there's a thing in place, a program or whatever in place where 100 people go, they need more operating costs than that. Is it better to offer, out of those 100, 10 special double-priced tickets that give you a bunch of perks, or increase all 100 people's price by a couple bucks?
What would you do if you're in charge?
I don't know. It's an interesting idea, right? It's one of those things that you can't really answer. But it does seem like if those... It depends what you're giving those 10 people. And it really depends what you're taking away from the other 90.
Right.
Right? That's what it is. What are you taking away from the other 90 people?
And that's probably where they're justifying this whole idea.
Right.
They're not taking that much away from the other 90.
And that's probably true. Yeah.
And so
Some
for the,
years a game will run out, but some
for
years
the other
you're fine.
90
Yeah.
to get up in arms about it is really kind of nebulous, because they're not taking anything away from you. They're giving something else to these people. And I understand that. I get it. Now, the motive behind doing it, that's where my questioning comes in. Mm-hmm. If you're doing it just to get more cheddar, I don't know about that.
I do a lot for cheddar.
He means like real cheddar.
I do mean real cheddar.
He's hungry, apparently.
Sir, I'd like to get your convention. This chunk of cheese. I mean, you're in. Here's 2 free games.
No, that's interesting. It's interesting. There's no hard and concrete answers here, of course, but that's a lot of different points of view that we've talked about
Yeah.
to tackle the same issue.
Well, tell us what you think in the comments below. Maybe you are a very important gamer. I'm not. I think we all are important, but tell us what you think about this. Maybe there's difference between what Gen Con does, what Board Game Geek does, what other conventions do.
And if you are someone who gets one of these tickets, then also let us know what you think, how you feel about it,
Right. All right. Well, until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
Z Garcia, thanks everybody.
Sam Healy, see you on the flip side, folks.